Alright folks, welcome back to another video. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about War Thunder Infantry. It's something that the community has been asking for years. I'm very excited to dive into it today since we did just have the closed beta testing. I know people have wanted the combined arms, boots on the ground, and having planes flying overhead and tanks driving all around, which, I mean, it sounds incredible on paper. It actually sounds fantastic. So when Gaijin finally launched the closed beta test, everyone was expecting something fantastic. Everyone was expecting Battlefield 6. I don't even want to say Call of Duty because Call of Duty kind of sucks in this realm. Everyone was looking towards Battlefield 6 really as the bar of what was going to be released, especially with the active matter release testing, and then as well with the enlisted preface to this. We expected everything to be great, but after spending time in the beta, it just didn't really hit like I thought it would. So today we're going to break down what went wrong, why it's disappointing right now, and whether Infantry and War Thunder can still be saved or not. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in all honesty, I will go ahead and say Infantry, we all know, was not supposed to just be another feature. It wasn't supposed to be another mode, another little cool, oh, here's bullet hell, here's Mad Max gameplay. No, it's supposed to be a game changer, revolutionize War Thunder on what it can be in the future. War Thunder already has aircrafts, tanks, and naval. Infantry literally was supposed to be the final piece, the one piece, if you will. Players expected CQC gameplay, meaningful interaction with tanks and aircraft like we have never seen before, and something that felt uniquely War Thunder, not just another shooter mode like we've been seeing in the past few years. But unfortunately, the closed beta just really did not deliver on that vision. So the first issue that I'm going to bring up is that the gameplay really feels shallow. One of the biggest problems is that the gameplay feels extremely basic in how it operates. The movement's really stiff. The gunplay lacks impact, like it doesn't feel like there's really any oomph behind a lot of the weapons that you're using. So it feels like more of airsoft rather than military weaponry. And the engagements get repetitive very fast. There's not a lot of depth where you're limited to tactical options. There's not any squad or team coordination, and I mean squad as in your bots, and team is in your other players that are in the game. And the maps don't really encourage smart positioning or holding objectives. They only encourage you to, if you do hold an objective, put all your bots inside of it and sit there the whole game, or find a building right next to the objective and put all your bots inside that building and sit there the whole game. So instead of really feeling like a massive battlefield, Infantry feels isolated and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Another thing that I want to tag on to the gameplay is that it's got AIs. I don't know why Gaijin is really set on the AI companionry in this video game. We saw how it played out in Enlisted, which I'll even talk about that in a whole different part of the video. I don't know why they're still AI companions. No other shooter really has that out there, which you could make the argument, well, that's what makes War Thunder unique. I think you could also make the argument that's what holds War Thunder back, is why is there AI companions? Well, Panda, actually, in real life, you have squad members that you are able to command if you are the squad leader, so that way they can do what you say. Yeah, in real life, I can also sit in a different continent with an Xbox controller and blow up a whole village in-game. So, what are we really saying here? At the end of the day, AI companions need to just be done with in this game. We saw how it worked out in Enlisted. It didn't work. I don't know why we're still doing it in this game. I'm not sure if it's to make it to where the players, it's more user-friendly, so if you die, you don't feel like you died because you have a whole squad, or if it's to quote-unquote boost the people that are in the lobby, so that way it seems like there's more players, but also you don't feel so bored because there's more things you can kill while you're just killing bots. So at that point, you're just playing like a PvE Black Ops 2 custom game lobby with max bots on there. I don't really know, but I do not think Gaijin needs to have AIs in the game at all. Just remove them, period. And here's where things really fall apart, in my opinion, is that Infantry does not feel properly integrated with tanks or aircraft literally at all. There's no strong sense of synergy, and there's no real reason for different units to support each other. And there is no different units. Everyone gets rocket launchers. Instead of combined arms, it really feels like there's infantry over here, tanks kind of just roll through and kill a few people and then just face off with other tanks. And then aircraft don't really do anything because aircraft, I haven't done it in realistic, but in arcade, it spawns in the exact same way it does in arcade in War Thunder already, where when it spawns in, it tells the entire lobby, hey, someone's about to spawn in a plane. Do you want to spawn in a plane or a helicopter also? And then when you do, they just kill each other. And then the game is over. Right there. That's your whole air combat right there, is that you just spawn in right next to each other in helicopters and fight each other. That completely undermines what makes War Thunder special. Having vehicle combat would be amazing, but we shouldn't be taking what we already have in arcade or even realistic and just implementing it into Infantry. It needs to have a whole new look at it. While War Thunder has the best damage models, vehicle depth, and all these things, I would say right now, they need to stick to that. And they don't need to just take things from other game modes and just kind of piece this all together like, okay, we'll take a little bit of arcade here, a little bit of realistic here. No, they need to all integrate perfectly and work in unison, not just take bits and pieces of everything and then just be like, all right, now let's add boots on the ground and then expect vehicle combat just to work. Combined arms does not work that way. Now, another thing that I see is that that while it is a closed beta, bugs are expected. I do understand that. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, it should be released perfectly as is on the closed beta, and I want to play a perfect game, Battlefield 6-esque, ready right now to be released to the masses and open the beta right now. I understand that it's closed beta, so yeah, there's gonna be bugs. There's a difference between unfinished and unpolished, or even cared for at all. There's clunky animations, the hit detection's really weird, the sound design is really rough. I don't even know if you guys could tell, but through this entire video, half my sounds were not working, which I totally understand there's gonna be bugs, but how does the sound not even work? And the UI elements don't feel ready at all, or felt like they got any love or care at all. The kill feed is the same kill feed we already have in War Thunder. The UI bar at the bottom is the same we already have in War Thunder. So I understand that it's War Thunder making the game, but I feel like we're just taking bits and pieces of everything else and just throwing it in this mode and saying, here we go, now let's have feet, and there you go. The whole mode feels rushed. It doesn't feel like there's been any thought to this process. It's just been take bits and pieces and see what sticks. We're kind of turning into COD fanboys here. We need to hold War Thunder to a higher standard than that. I'm not trying to hate too much, but I feel like there's so many things that could have been implemented better with the UI, with the sound design, or the kill feed, or things like that, that we just reuse old things we already have. How is it supposed to completely revolutionize the game, but we're just reusing stuff we already have in the game? We're not adding anything new except for feet, which, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on feet, but come on now. As of right now, I would say that the core problem is this: War Thunder's going through an identity crisis right now. Some may say a midlife crisis. At its core, Infantry just doesn't know what it wants to be or what it wants to do. It's not realistic enough to satisfy like more sim players. It's not really deep enough for tactical shooter fans, and it's not really smooth enough for arcade players either. Right now, it just kind of feels like a placeholder, not a fully realized mode that Gaijin really wants to implement. There's a lot of bits and pieces that are just thrown together from other modes, and it doesn't feel like this is something that Gaijin really planned on doing more modern, that they just kind of did it because they think that's what's right. I don't know if you guys have been aware, but they've been sticking their neck out trying to do Minecraft type stuff with Cubic Odyssey. They've been trying to do Tarkov type stuff with Active Matter, and now it seems like they're trying to do Battlefield 6 stuff with Infantry. So I'm not really sure if this is something Gaijin even wants to do themselves. I think they feel like they have to do it because they don't want to lose their player base, which I don't think is true. I think Gaijin could never implement Infantry ever, and they can keep doing this just with War Thunder like what they've been doing, and it'd be fine. Enlisted has been a mode forever. I don't think people really care for it, because if they did, why do I see no one that says Enlisted's good play it? I played it for about a week when it first came out, and then I never touched it again. It was boring and repetitive, and it was not very fun. All the people that say, well, Enlisted's really old, Panda, this is now modern. Yeah, well, War Thunder makes you start out with like a Stuart and you can play an Abrams. So your argument there doesn't really hold up, because you can play a World War II vehicle in one match and then switch over to a freaking KH-29 Sling Bob the next one. So it doesn't really make sense to say it just because Enlisted is old. Now that it's modern, it's different. I really think they should have just added Modern Infantry to Enlisted to revive that game, because what was the point of bringing Enlisted to life just to say, sorry, we're taking you out back? It doesn't really make any sense. So I really think Gaijin right now needs to solidify what they want Infantry to bring to the table, instead of trying to just take a pick at all these top runner games to just try to copy what they're doing because they see it working and they want to have their own piece of the pie. But the good news for this can all be fixed. This can all be changed. The foundation is definitely there. The engine can definitely handle it. The idea really makes sense, and the community clearly wants Infantry to succeed. While I have said all these negative things about it, it's because I'm holding Gaijin to such a high standard because I know that they can do better. So I myself want them to succeed, as does most of the community. Gaijin really needs to do multiple things though, that way they can give Infantry the best chance of passing its first initial phase, which is the week or two gameplay, where you play it for a week or two and then you're done and you never touch it again. We need to make sure that Gaijin can fix that. So they need to make sure they can deepen the gameplay systems, they can improve the combined arms interaction to make that feel more natural and realistic. They need to redesign the maps a little bit so that way they're not so CQC, but there's a bit of mixture of large maps, long range confrontation, as well as some CQC here and there. And they also need to give this mode time and not rush it out, so that way I would rather wait, as I'm sure most of you will agree, you'd rather wait for a fully fledged game mode that has been loved and nurtured, rather than the 1 month preemie that just got popped out because Gaijin felt like it needed to happen now. So in conclusion, what went wrong with the War Thunder Infantry closed beta? It tried to do too much without doing any of it particularly well. This isn't exactly a failure, but it is a warning. If Infantry launches just as it is, it won't last. We really need to see some improvements and some more deeper looks into how things will work, attachments, researching, battle ratings. As you saw, there is battle ratings with the weaponry. So are we gonna start with sticks and stones and then have to work our way up to a saw? We don't know. Does it take 10,000 RP to research a compensator, to research a vertical grip? We do not know. How long does it research to get a grenade or a Semtex or things of that nature? We do not know. So if it launches as it is now, it will just fail. This just seems like another enlisted slop game, unfortunately. Again, whether you personally think enlisted is good or not, we can just show the stats of how many viewers War Thunder has and how many enlisted has, and that speaks for itself to what the average player is thinking about the game. But at the end of the day, let me know what you think. Did you play the beta? Were your expectations higher or lower now after watching this video? Did you set the bar super high before playing and was it lowered? Or did you set the bar super low and after playing it was raised? Please let me know down in the comments. I really want to get the community to think about both sides, good and bad, of the CBT. So please comment down below what you think and what we should be looking at in the forthcoming releases in the open beta soon, whenever that happens. So thanks so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Don't forget to hit that sub button. We're right on the verge of hitting 1,000, and I can't wait to hit that milestone with you guys. And then, hey, let's all pray for Infantry. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed one. Oh, Happy New Year, by the way, guys. It's the new year. This is the first video of 2026. Woo!